So you ever have one of those things that's broken or not working right and you just don't want to take the time to fix it? So you keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Well, that is the story behind this. I scratched the lens on this pretty much as soon as I got it. That was like the first thing I did with it. I think I let the kids try it out in the pool a couple times, and after that, I put it on my quadcopter and proceeded to try to do a flip and drove it right into the ground and scratched the shit out of the lens. So, that was that. And I've been putting off, fixing this thing, even though I've had a replacement lens sitting here for a little bit now. So, finally, yesterday, I took this to the 49ers game with me, and this scratched lens proceeded. Whoa, hi, kitty. You want up here? You want to say hi? Alright, come on. Hello. Say hello, kitty kitty. So, the scratch lens has proceeded to really affect one of the videos I made recently, and it is just time to take care of it. It really is. So, try to keep the cat butt out of your face. Yeah. We're going to try to replace this lens. Cat's probably gonna have to go inside. She loves to be loved. So, which you escaped for the first time today, didn't you? How was that? Your little outside escapade there, huh? Huh? That's gross. Okay, time to go inside. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is remove the SD card if you have one in there, and then remove the battery as well. Boom. Done. And for my next trick, we're going to take a small bit and pry off this. Okay, apparently I'm not going to take a bit. I'm just going to pop off this faceplate since I started around the battery door and made it much, much easier. So yes, faceplate is off. That is crazy. I thought this was a SJ9000 clone. This says SJ4000. I have another cam that's supposed to be a SJ4000. Not only can it not do 2K, it is a POS. Like, there is something wrong with that thing. It takes the worst footage I've ever seen out of it. I can't even believe they're selling it. It's so bad. That review is actually probably coming out right after I fix this. So if you are watching this today and this video was released today, check back tomorrow to see my review on the shitty SJ4000 clone. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws in the front here. We are going to remove them all. Remove them all. Alright, so to avoid breaking off the two small wires that hold that little power board, or connect it, better said, we're actually going to lift it forward. That way when we pull the base plate out from underneath it, we don't damage it. So just gently pry it up and then just kind of fold it up like so. And be very gentle, because those wires, if you break them, you're gonna have a bad day. And we will pull that plate out. So that is about 92% of the work. This little guy right here, that is going to be your little Wi-Fi antenna. So now comes the fun part, because what happens is these lenses just screw in there, but they're not just screwed in there, they are actually glued in place. And so we have to try to scrape off as much as that glue as possible in order to get the lens out. What would fixing something be without a good piece of duct tape, right? I'm actually just gonna put this over the Wi-Fi antenna just to make sure it stays out of the way. With wires like that, you don't want to move it any more than you have to. The more you move it, the more you're bending that wire, and the sooner it's gonna break. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work around the edge, just with the edge of this flathead, and try to scrape out as much of that glue as possible. From watching other, oh wait, oh, I don't have to do that. Maybe you'll get lucky like I did, and it'll just unscrew. Ta-da! So we have this out. I can see there are some differences from the cheap replacement I have, but it's gotta be better than what this is doing right now. So if this has been sitting open like this, take a little microfiber cloth and dust that out. And then what we want to do is we want to start screwing this in. However, A, be very careful because these threads are very fine. And then B, oh, come on. I like to back thread it until I feel the thread click. Except for maybe I can't fill it with that plastic piece on there, so I'm gonna take that off. There we go, that's the click. And then start going forward from there. All right. So now that that is done, this is the fun part, is that these essentially have a focus to them. And what you need to do is you need to go set that focus. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go outside and I'm gonna point this down the street and I'm gonna try to hold the battery in and look at the screen and turn this until I feel that it's focused. Because you want a focus that starts from about 5 feet in front of you and goes as far as you think you're gonna reasonably go. Like, so I want a couple house lengths at least. So I will be back. I'm heading outside with my partially assembled camera. All right, so I am outside and pointed down the street now. And I'm going to use the little viewfinder to check the focus. But what I'm doing right now is I'm turning that lens. Because like I said, I want to find the part where everything's in focus. You can't just screw this in and expect it to be good. So come on, changing fingers. It's funny because I don't have anything holding the battery in. I have to like hold the battery in as I do this. Alright, so we're getting a little bit better. Oh, why'd everything black out? Oh, because it timed out. Butter. Things are coming to better focus now. And yeah, getting close there. So truck's in focus. Ooh, that's much better. Now I think we're getting out of focus, so I'm gonna back up just a bit. And what I'll do is I'll go inside and I'll actually double check this shot on a computer, because the next step will actually be gluing the lens in place. So you want to make sure that you have the focal point where you want it to be and as wide as you want it to be. All right, so as you watch me do that, you may have noticed a couple things. Number one is that when I put this in here, I still had the cap on the lens, and there's actually some dust on the lens from sitting in this cap apparently. So like I said, you wanna make sure that you clean off with a microfiber cloth the back of the lens before you screw it in. And then, you know, anything that's on the front of the lens, you're gonna be able to see it. So take care of that as you're doing it. Cleanliness matters. The second thing is that when I was done recording that, you might have noticed that I went a little bit too far. I watched the recording and I went ahead and backed that focus out just a touch to get it as close as I can. You know, when you're looking at the little screen, it's okay, it gives you a ballpark, but definitely record it and check it because that will help you greatly. So now that we have the lens in focus, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put just a small drop of CA glue or super glue or whatever you want to call it where the threads meet. That way it holds it in place because you don't want to lose that position. So make sure that you are using very little though. The worst thing that you can do is have super glue flow in between those threads and get on your lens and crap. That would be a nightmare. Give that about 30 seconds to set and we'll finish putting her together and call it a day. Alright, so front plate goes back on. Make sure you got your SJ4000 emblem sitting out. Go ahead and fold that power thing back down. Shouldn't really need to press it in too hard. Should kind of hold itself in. Just make sure it's properly aligned when you put on the top front cover and you should be good. Yeah, those wires are kind of botchy. You know what I might do? I might just put a touch on there to hold that down as well. Also of note is that you shouldn't have to do this more than once. Once you've learned your lesson, you should also know that there are very cheap lens protectors out there that keep you from having to do things like this. And I should have bought one when I bought the camera. However, I didn't. But I can pretty much guarantee you, I will be using one now. And I'm not talking about like the full waterproof case protector kind of deal. I just mean little lens protectors that slip onto the lens and that is it. You break that, you just slip it back off, you put a new one on and you're not doing all this crap. So well worth the investment depending on what you want to do with it. When you're flying, it seems like crashing is inevitable. Alright, with all that said and done, make sure that's properly aligned one more time, and then go ahead and put this front cover on and snap her into place. And that'd be it. Battery back in, door back on, maybe the right way. Oh, it broke off that tab. Not surprising, I kind of put this through a lot. And that should be it. Looking pretty good if I do say so myself. And no more scratch lens, thankfully. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, any topics that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. I promise I will read them and respond. Feel free to give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know I'm doing a decent job with my dry, sarcastic stealth. And with that, keep flying, y'all. Have fun.